Fire extinguisher time. How's it going, YouTube? So today we have a bit of a different kind of video. All of these heaters, and there's one back there, are heaters that I got from a Sunbelt Rental Auction. Now, the 3 heaters back there, I've tested, they work, there's no problem with them. The 4 heaters up here, I have not tested yet. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about the heaters, how I got them, why I got them, and first, we have to go look at what's in my car that directly relates to this. So there is another 9 heaters in my car. Some propane, some electric, some diesel or kerosene or whatever. So the ones in the garage I picked up about a week ago. All the ones in my car I picked up today. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these out and get them set up behind the car, show you what I have, and then we can go through testing them. Okay, so here is the 9 that we picked up today. I'll kind of go through them, tell you what I know about them. And let's start off with, all of these should work. They have been sitting for a bit, so there's a chance they don't, but they should work. So this, we'll start. 240 volt, 3-phase heater. Pretty good size. It works, it's been sitting. I paid $1. This one is a 1.5 kilowatt electric heater, just 120 volt. Paid $1. These 2, as well as this 2, and the 2 black ones. So all 6 of those heaters were in a lot. Paid $250 for all of them. The white one I paid $1 for. So going over numbers, 1,300 to 1,600 new, 300 a piece new, 800 new, 2 to 3,000 new. I want to say those were like 800 or 900 a piece new. And this one was 500 or 600 new. I understand these aren't new, but when you're talking about over $6,000 across them, and I paid under 300, right about 300 if you include the gas, I think I got a heck of a deal. Now, for the issues that I know of, this one needs a bolt replaced to hold on the axle there. This one, the tires are just absolutely shot. Beyond that, I've been told everything should work, and how Sunbelt does it is if something doesn't rent out in a certain amount of time, it goes up for auction, and that's where all these came from, as well as the couple that we looked at in my garage before. So I'm going to go ahead and start running through these, and we'll see what fires up, what pushes out heat, and if any of them don't. There's a lot of potential here. I could resell these, you know, obviously it's kind of hot today, we're in the 80s, it's a warm day, but wait a couple months till it's cold, these now have a lot more value. I bought them in the summer, they're really cheap. I could also start a rental company with them. You know, I was looking at the numbers, and if I did 50% of what Sunbelt rents these out for, and I rent them out a quarter of the time, then I think it was like $14,000 a year that I could make off of the heaters for something where I have very little money in it. So we'll have to see how it plays out. Go ahead and drop your comments down below and let me know. Are you interested in seeing me work on using auctions, retired rental equipment, and making my own budget rental company? That could be a cool thing for us to see. So this is what we're looking at. 16 in total, and thus far I have tested the center one there, or the one on the inside of that kind, and these 2 big ones. The rest of them we're going to figure out today if they work. To go through these, propane, electric, diesel, or these are both diesel, kerosene, jet fuel, a couple other things, propane. So just a ton of fun stuff, and I'll go grab my tank and an extension cord, and we're going to start testing them. Got the first one hooked up, propane on, it's plugged in. Let's see what happens. Come on. just blowing right now. It's not trying to light. Now it's heating. Yep. I just had to come to the back and adjust the thermostat. So let me go ahead and turn that off. That's 1 for 1 for today. So let's hop over to this one. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it, but on this regulator, when I turn this on, we get a hissing in the regulator. So I believe this one will need the regulator replaced. Not an expensive part. In worst case, we just have one for parts if we don't end up replacing this. But I see no reason why not to. Okay, we'll go ahead and jump down to some of them down there then. Okay, so we have this one plugged in. This one's regulator looks like it's doing okay. There we go. Turn it up to high. Give it a second. Yep, and there it just lit. So that one's good. Yep, it's working. This one's interesting. Looking at this 248, it's trying to light, but I have the propane turned off. Okay, now let's turn the propane on. Give it a second, it'll try to light. Yeah, it's just not pushing out the air fast enough, so the fan's not spinning fast enough. Whew, so you end up with that. Let me look at it some and we'll see what's going on there. Yep, so that one, 248, the fan just does not spin. I went back to 245, hooked in, turned it on, just to make sure nothing changed in my power. But that one spins up, blows great. So this one just has a weak fan. And maybe if I look online, that might be something we can look at fixing. But overall, now we know where we might get the regulator for the one over there. That's kind of my thoughts at the moment. So this one's also going slow and it's starting to smoke because it was running a little bit, but this has the same problem as 248. So 244 also blows slow and doesn't heat up very well, or probably heats up too well. This one also might have an electrical issue. That smoke kind of smells electrical. Hey, so fire extinguisher time. That was fun. I was like, man, it still smells like it might be burning. And I was hearing sounds with it unplugged. So 244 is absolutely out to kill us. That is a parts unit. But yay for having a fire extinguisher in my car. Okay, so this one I turned the fan on before I hooked up the propane just to see if it was slow like these two were. And it's not, so let's see what happens. See how much better that is? It blows stuff out there. Yep, that one's good. So, not doing too bad so far. So I know I said we were going to the big chunguses next. Let's test these little baby ones. Looks like I'll just plug them in and give them a minute or so to start putting out heat. And then we can get to the fun stuff. I can't let you guys see that and then leave. We have to go through all of it. Yep, heated. Yep, 2 for 2 on these. And 3 for 3 for heating my little leg outside in the middle of summer. Now, let's start small before we go big bad. Let me figure out how to start this little buggy. So we're plugged in. We had a little bit of diesel leak from how it was sitting in the car. That's fine. And then I guess this is it's on. So if we turn it off, that turns off. Let's turn it on. It's reading 86. I'm assuming that's the temperature it's seeing currently. So if we kick this above 86. Oh yeah. Sounds like it's burning. Oh yeah. Oh. And that runs on diesel. That's nice. And now to shut it off. Woo. Yeah. that one works and surprisingly easier. So for this one, the controls are a little different. 190,000 BTUs, so slightly bigger than these. Those are 170,000. Those are 150,000. These are 375,000, 400,000 BTU. So it's absolutely massive, and let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, so this is our power on off switch. So if we press that, it turns off, but it keeps track of the room temperature, 78. So the setting temp is 67. Let's just raise that to, I don't know, I guess 80 should work. Hello? Operation? Maybe it's, okay, so it's got to be a couple degrees off. There we go. Holy cow. The heat coming off of that is insane. And that's when it's hot outside. Imagine if that was cold. Fill that up with diesel, run a little electrical cord out, keep yourself nice and warm while you're digging a hole or whatever. Just come in here, power off. I don't know, I guess the fan doesn't hurt to be running. It probably cools down. Let me watch the video and see if it was running beforehand. I was thinking it was something like that. Do not disconnect until cooldown cycle has completed. So we turn it off and we just leave it running, I guess, until that fan shuts off. If that fan doesn't shut off in 10 minutes or so, then I'll go ahead and try to find the instruction manual on this and see. But that's solid. So after it's all said and done, one of these, I'll look back at the video and see which, needs a regulator, which is going to come off of 244 over there. This one I can't test. Well, I could, but I'd have to hardwire it into the generator, and honestly, I'm not too worried about that. That one was rented out fairly recently, I believe, so we'll see how that goes. These worked, didn't work, homicidal, worked. So honestly, out of my 14 generators, we have 11 that function as they sit. The 12th one, whichever one of those two, that will work once we pull the regulator from down here. And then we have one that maybe can be fixed and one that is definitely a parts unit. So honestly, I'm super stoked with that. Now my challenge is getting these all to fit in my garage. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to kind of get them in a nice storage spot, because they're going to sit for at least a couple months and then potentially be rented out or be sold. One of the two. That's going to do it for me, YouTube, and for this video on my Sunbelt buy. And I'm definitely going to be watching for more. That was a really fun experience. A lot of driving for me, though. That was a lot of driving. If you enjoy this type of content and you like seeing these odd and end things and what I'm getting up to, then by all means, leave a like, leave a comment letting me know. I'll buy random stuff. Whatever makes sense for the price, I'll buy it and show you guys and take you along with it. So leave a like, leave a comment, and please subscribe. Until next time, YouTube.